Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since...
Alright, you are on and 3, 2, 1.
It is an historic day at Giffen Park, Coorparoo. It's round 14 of the Bond University QAFLW, the final round of the home and away season. The Coorparoo Kings hosting the Aspley Hornets. There are so many permutations, combinations, celebrations happening. I've literally not had time for the Olympics. The last opening ceremony I missed was Moscow in 1980. But we are here at Giffen Park in Coorparoo. The historical significance of today is that two of the genuine legends of the QAFLW and indeed Queensland Women's Australian rules have announced that this will be their last season, and because Coorparoo is coming fourth and can't host the final, this will be their last match on this ground, and I'm speaking of Sally Young and Emma Zielke. Both of them began playing for Morningside in about 2008. They went to a come and try day. Emma Zielke came from soccer. I forget where Sally came from. They were at Morningside for several years. Then 2013 they brought the whole program over to Coorparoo. Currently having a very heavy victory over Yeronga, which, apart from an utter miracle, will secure them the minor premiership. Bond University are currently down at half-time against the University of Queensland. Big implications for this match, because that would mean that Coorparoo would have to win this game, otherwise their season is over. We're not expecting rain today. There's no wind around at the moment, and the temperature is probably just above 20 degrees. But the final round of the Bond University QAFLW is underway. Aspley running to the right of your screen towards Stanley Street in their familiar brown and gold stripes, or hoops rather. Coorparoo in their familiar navy blue. Holding off the ball, the first free kick of the match will go to Louise Tyson of Aspley. She looks out to the left, looking for the run of Jamie Bryant. Fumble, found space, getting away from the tackle of Watts. Chloe Gaunt, who's begun in the ruck, in the number 54 for Coorparoo, gets it out to Emily Harding. And a free kick to Holly O'Flaherty of Aspley, possibly for a throw. O'Flaherty, first inside 50, looking for Izzy McDonough, over her head, but goal side is Emma McNaughton. Emma McNaughton, she's been in a hot streak of form lately. I'm going to call that 48 seconds, not as quick as some goals this season, but let's not get picky. Her 5th game at this level and her 8th goal. I don't have her reserve grade stats on me at the moment, but she was tearing it up in the 2s for most of this season. So not the start Coorparoo would have wanted. Weren't able to get it on camera, unfortunately, but you'll probably see it on social media. But a wonderful entrance with a banner for Young and Zielke. Messy ball in the centre square, Watts on the ground, and Schneider wrapped up by Bryant. Two players who love to find space, very large numbers of uncontested possessions this year. Schneider and Bryant. Although number 1 in that category is Lucia Liesi, who'll be on shortly in number 12 for Aspley. Van der Weel at the back of the contest. Turned over to Roberts White. She gets it forward, dropped by Zielke in the number 8 jersey. And then tackling Pittman, the Aspley captain, and someone with whom she's played a bit of footy here at Coorparoo. Jasmine Carver in the ruck, wins against Gaunt, crashing onto it was Meg Muir. Tough work on the ground from Jess Davey. 90 disposals in her past 3 games. Roberts White ran into traffic and no prior opportunity, which is consistent with what we call in this competition. Go through the umpires shortly. Brought to you by Bradnam's Windows and Doors. And having a blessedly quiet start as Watts went off the ground, and we almost had Ricochet City. Muir, not her best kick. Pittman's able to clean up. Had a brilliant game against Wilson Grange last week. Easily finds Van der Weel on the wing. Brown calling for it inside, sneakily, because she's on the other side. Desic went for a one-hander and possibly got in the way of Gaunt. and then high contact on Alana Mitchell. And she has the free kick. Comes out wide to Feta Huggage, the Coorparoo captain. Had a brilliant year. Tries to dance around McDonagh, and fails. Izzy McDonagh gets straight in their bike up towards centre half forward. Not overly held onto by Hung as the co-captains of the Brisbane Lions connect. Wat Farah unable to hold on. Fumbling. Cleared. And will go out towards Harding in the right back pocket. Coorparoo dodge a bullet with some good defence. Harding plays it out wide to Zilke. Used the experience to fumble it forward, but turned over. Bryant. And into space finds Kawa. Kawa finds a target she likes, and McNaughton picked her out superbly. Excuse me. Coorparoo switched the play well from left to right at the back. It looked like they were going to be out. And then Zilke was challenged in the marking contest. Back it came. Set shot to Emma McNaughton. This first grade lark is easy. Second goal, 5th minute. Coorparoo get to have it inside 50. They have got it over halfway a couple of times. And funnily enough, it's the Aspley midfielders having a powwow just outside the centre circle. So 5 minutes in, 2 goals to Emma McNaughton for Aspley, the only 2 scoring shots. The Aspley bench look up at me and say, okay, then you're going to write about our slow starts again this week? We dare you. Answer, no, I'm not. Roberts White tackled well by Bryant. Roberts White star in her own side, in her own right this season. There's an international cup about to get underway in Canada, and the Irish-born Roberts White would probably be eligible for the Irish side in future years if she chooses to go that way. Forward to Tyson's lovely flick from the wing. Well harassed by Teubler. Teubler did brilliantly. And they've turned it over. Went through Watts, then she was dispossessed. Back from, looked like the Essie, and then inside 50 from Davey. Out towards McDonagh. McDonagh getting protection from Wat Farah, just couldn't take the ball with her. Wat Farah dispossesses Desic. Mitchell. Twisted, turned, fell. Released. Still a dangerous situation for the Kings. McDonagh. Wat Farah. Wat Farah doesn't need much of an invitation. She's off target. And in the end, very off target, but they won't mind the field position. So please stay with us on this game in the AFLQ, or the official AFLQ YouTube channel. The ball came out towards McNiven near the boundary. Refuses to go out. Vanderweel knocking it back in. McNiven again, wrapped up ball and all by Desic. Davey did well just to get an ankle onto the ball, not be caught in possession. No space at all. Tyson. Harding was straight onto her, turned it over. Desic will come wide to Deegan. Good work by Deegan. But the other 3 games are all being live streamed, and they will be there as long as YouTube lasts. Good mark by Brown. So watch them all during the week. Tonight, if you need to get out of something, just say sorry, I have to watch the Bond University QAFLW. Paul Flanagan. Pengelly. In tackled by Zilke. Zilke in her various coaching roles, most notably at the Lions Academy and Queensland Under-18s, is playing against several people who she has coached. Did that turn up in Rory Lake's coaching plans? You betcha. Kawa. Doing well in the ruck. Liesi. Back to Daniels. Now we're going to half volley to Desic. The volleyball match between Desic and McDonagh didn't really have a winner. Hung. Off-target kick. Well taken by Mitchell. He didn't panic. We will be keeping an eye on those other 3 games throughout the afternoon. Unclean ball, picked up by Tyson. Zielinski turned over. Desic has been very involved early, and then cleared by Watts. Pengelly got a good shepherd from Daniels. Pengelly doesn't often need that much protection to take a good mark. Not the best disposal, but Brian makes it good. Bryant turns in the circle and finds Hung in space. Fittahakis wasn't quite able to get to her. Kawa up the guts, McDonagh marking it centre half forward. McDonough is unlikely to spend her career as a key forward, but she's got those skills. Probably more likely to be a wide player or perhaps back in the midfield where she plays for junior rep side. But Izzy McDonough, who began the year with a hat-trick, is on the board in the final match of the home and away season. It's not the start Coorparoo wanted. And as long as Bond University can defeat the University of Queensland and Wilston Grange don't get a very big win over Maroochydore, they'll be fine. They can lose this game and still squeak into the finals. But if UQ upset Bond, then Coorparoo's in a bit of trouble. I'm just informed that Bond's taken the lead. They were down by 2 points at half-time. They're now up by 7. Aspley on the forward move again as McDonough this time came a bit more shallow to take the ball. She'll get possessions wherever they're available on the field. Moving out to the left pocket, Watt Farah. Not enough room for a shot, but finds Tallis. Good mark by Feta Hugic. The intercept marking of Feta Hugic in 2024 is its own highlights reel. The disposal only finds Pittman. And we're having an intercept marking festival as Mia Teubler joins the party. She'll go wide again, and this could fall into the arms of Alana Perry. Assessing options, familiar with this ground. Into space, looking for McNaughton. Good work from the back from Feta Hugic to close down the space. Couldn't get away from McDonough, but found Desic instead. Through the arms of Watts, picked up by Perry. Perry back inside 50, repeat entries. Watt Farah knocks it into the drop zone. McDonough, beautiful wraparound. Gets a left foot shot, finds McNaughton, just unable to keep it in the field of play after fumbling the mark. The first blemish of the day. I think technically that behind will go on McDonough's stats, which is a bit unfair. Who said stats were fair? Gaunt was behind Pengelly. Pengelly did well to maintain front position and then at least caused the stoppage. If you bought a ticket, so to speak, in front of the Coorparoo clubhouse, most of the action's been in pretty good viewing areas. Deegan, lovely little flick out the right side to Zielinski. Kicks it over the contest. Govan takes a tumble. McNiven is penalised. I suspect it was a tangle, but there's nothing else an umpire can do in that situation. Back centre field, just goes over the head of Geddes. In fact, that's Schneider, apologies. Muir, Desic, Schneider. Schneider will get Coorparoo's first inside 50. It's not high quality from someone who's used to providing that. Zilke into the drop zone, taken by Govan. Danae Govan, and yes, I'm on century watch for her, but I'm going to keep it just a little bit low-key for a while. I'll to set the seismograph going later, but she is on 98 career goals. Megan Hunt got a behind early today for Southport, but Danae Govan, it's a good long shot. Danae Govan's up to 99. And against the run of play, a quick transition out of defence for Coorparoo puts them on the board. Margin reduced to 13. Although he's still got every scorer in this game of Scottish extraction. Make of that what you will. And it will surprise no one that Emma Zilke is the one with the assist. She's played pretty much every position. I remember having the good fortune of commentating with Brisbane Lion Taylor Smith on a Coorparoo game last year, and she said, I've never seen Emma Zilke play in the forwards. I've only ever known her as a defender, and I had to let her know that she's actually the all-time leading goal scorer in the State League. Perry inside to Pengelly. Pengelly, Aspley looking for the quick reply. They made a specialty out of this. That is superb defending from Sammy Nunn. She's only been a regular in the top grade side for the past 3 or 4 weeks, but she's been superb since she came back up to the top grade. McDonough with the turnover. hugs the boundary, bounces through to McNaughton. Mitchell was on her straight away and then squeezed the ball out like toothpaste and then passed it on to Muir. Muir will hug the boundary line, and that's a kick she'd like to have over again. So a couple of things going right for Coorparoo in the last few minutes. They're on the board, and Bond University have retaken the lead. Aspley has an attacking opportunity. Dominating the inside 50s this quarter. Fell into Coorparoo hands. Deegan was outnumbered at the contest, but was strong. Walt Farah with a strong tackle on Feta Hugic. It's twilight football in the Bond University QAFLW. Tallis ran onto it and had her jersey tugged and very easily spotted. Still waiting for the ball to get outside 50, so 50-metre penalty. I'm not sure if something was said or if there was someone running through the zone. But Maddie Tallis, who as of right now has the most behinds in the competition for all the players who haven't yet kicked a goal. She is off that list now. That is a maiden Bond University QAFLW goal for Maddie Tallis. So from Aspley's perspective, it's really just the one lapse where they conceded a goal. Not every lapse in Aussie rules is punished quite so harshly. But apart from that, it's been a completely dominant quarter. They haven't been able to produce all the time, as I keep very cruelly reminding them. It's Liesi on her weaker left foot, but she scored 2 goals with that foot in the opening game. Tallis tried to duck through a couple and the defence was short. Handballed wide, but Liesi has another opportunity. Work on the ground from Roberts White, who, for obvious reasons, hasn't really been able to get into this game. Donna coming off for O'Flaherty. Davey also coming off for a spell. Inside 50 for Aspley again. Goes behind the defence. Nunn. Wrapped up straight away by Drew Barnes. Another who's made a good entry into first grade in the past couple of weeks. Very contested play, but Hung gave herself space. Hooked it. Has she got a bit? No, she hasn't. It was messy play. I suspect either it went over the line first or it only went over the line after it was above the... propelled forward by above the knee. Alyssa Gall. A good first year in this competition after coming down from the Teen Saints. Roberts White. Goes all the way back to Schneider. One of those piercing low passes for which he's become famous. That's a strong tackle from Carla. And then another one from Tyson. And in the end, it took something akin to a rugby conversion to get it out of there. But it only went to O'Connor. Low kick to Tyson, which went 15.01 metres. Still plenty of time left in this quarter. And they play laterally to Tallis. Coorparoo has no one forward. It's, well, as close to a flood as you can get, really. Roberts White unable to clear, went to the side of Wat Farah. Mitchell battling hard with Hung. Hung won the battle, gave it back to Van der Weel. A skied kick, Feta Hugic underneath it. From the back was McNaughton, and Feta Hugic was strong. She's number 2 or 3 for contested marks in this competition as well. And finding Chloe Gaunt in a pack, it's not just a handy thing to do, but it's one of the great joys of this competition to watch. Zielinski. Handball through the pack. Gaunt somehow got a handball away. And a stoppage underneath the greenery. Four goals to 1 to Aspley in this quarter. Swarming around the ball, no pun intended. Tyson, Carla, Pittman. The support play. Brilliant to watch from Aspley. Pittman went wide, looking for the run of Bryant. Looks for the step inside. Schneider tracked her very well, and it was really Schneider's work to put pressure on Bryant's kick. The clearance wasn't as good, and O'Connor turns it back to Pittman, all the way back to McNiven. McNiven, a floaty kick inside 50, bounces behind Deshic, and then takes a big off break out of bounds. So on whatever device you're watching, this laptop's probably best for this. Get your second screen up to the QAFLW competition hub available on the AFLQ website. And stay in touch with all the various possibilities that could happen in this competition as the 4 matches are played out. Barnes, another handball back to Tyson. Good work from Harding in defence. O'Connor sweeps. Lanigan. Again, Pittman is the safety valve at the back. Steps inside Roberts White, who did well to cling on. Good work from Zilke to scuff the kick from Lanigan. Muir's been busy in this first quarter. Back to Feta Hagic, who's been busy in this, well, last 2 years really. They've probably got 1, maybe 2 attacking raids left to deal with the Coorparoo Kings. 3 goals down, but somehow 4 goals to 1 feels a lot better than 3 goals to 0. Tyson looking to extend the margin. Deshic. A lot of wraps on Deshic. Still 16, I believe, which will be around a while. We'll get to watch her development. At the moment, shoring up a place in the back pocket for Coorparoo, but she's got a lot of options. Aspley dominate the first quarter, 4-2-26. Coorparoo the 1 goal, 2 goals to Emma McNaughton, 1 to Izzy McDonough, 1 to Maddie Tallis. Coorparoo's goal is Janae Gubbins' 99th in her career. This is round 14, the last round of the home and away season in the Bond University QAFLW. There we go. Alright, let's get this sorted. So, full time at Fankhauser. Oh, hang on. Alana Welsh with the last goal.
We'll test him too, because that's the one that was broken before.
Speak into it a little bit.
Hello, my name's Adrian Richardson. I can't hear anything in my ears at the moment. Yeah, I can hear some background. Right, that's starting to come. Yep, I can hear that now. Yep, sounds good. Got a bit of background birds chirping and the breeze flowing through Daniel's hair. That sounds much better now. I can hear in my ears as well. Quarter time here at Giffen Park. So was it just the marker one? It's one more. Good start. 4 goals. 26. 1 6. Joining Daniel Giles. Everybody is the lead.
Yeah, bumped everyone else off. In a Machiavellian search.
Yeah, because when it's Andre?
Adrian.
Adrian, sorry. When Adrian was speaking before, it was just pure static the entire time. And but HQ was not receiving any audio whatsoever, but through their headphones it was just static.
It's through mine more than Adrian's up there. But if we have to do without sound in my cans, I can deal with that. That's fine.
Can you hear anything in your headphones?
Sorry?
Have you got any sound?
Oh yeah, I've got plenty of sound now.
Okay.
Perfect.
Oh, actually, no, it's good now. So whatever you've done,
Okay.
your pay raise is approved.
No, awesome. Thank you. All good. I think
Work with this, Daniel.
Good. Yep.
Let's get a hold of this one.
Yeah.
As soon as Tom's ready, we can go back on air and we can talk about the round.
All right.
Now, it's competitions manager for the state league specifically. Is that your? Gotcha. Yeah.
Do you want to come back a bit earlier because so you can introduce...
Nowish, really? Yeah. If you're ready now, we are ready now.
Alright. Well, we've already got some... and...
The Aspley Hornets lead the Coorparoo Kings by 20 points in our featured match of round 14 of the Bond University QAFLW here at Giffen Park, affectionately known as the Castle, the last home game today for Sally Young and Emma Zilke of the Coorparoo Kings. My name is Daniel Flowers. Joining me, finally, is the QAFLW, Bond University QAFLW competition manager, Adrian Richardson. Adrian, welcome to my office, first of all.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, you've got it decked out beautifully here. First time for me this year, but to see how you operate and just watching over that first quarter was a great start to the game for Aspley. Very strong around the ball, particularly. Just playing the meterage game inside 50s. When Coorparoo were able to get a bit of space and a bit of run and carry, they were able to drive forward a couple of times there, but Aspley certainly controlled the quarter there.
Let's look at the competition more broadly before they get restarted, and that's why I'm very glad to have you here, because your job is to look at the competition more broadly. What's happening around the grounds and what's the significance of those matches?
Yeah, well, I think as we would say, as expected, Southport had a comfortable win at home there to Wanda South Brisbane to finish out the year. So they'll comfortably finish on top of the ladder, hosting the final next year. And over at Base Meadows, UQ did have a 2-point lead at half time. Bond University have turned it around by 17 points and got a 15-point lead at three-quarter time. So that's the one we want to keep an eye on. If UQ win, it would put them into the 4, and would mean Coorparoo would need to win the
Thank you very much, Adrian. As this time it is Coorparoo who have the first inside 50 of the quarter. Lucy Thompson clears the ball out of 50 for the umpteenth time in her career. Umpteenth hundredth, I probably should have said. Geddes with the intercept mark. Short to Brown. Picked off well by Davey. Davey keeps it wide, looking for Barnes. Blaney put pressure on the contest. Geddes is wide, has none behind her. Nunn trying to get onto her left foot and did so in the end. Gaunt did well, Tyson did better. Louise Tyson read that yesterday. Looking through for Liesi, just got ahead of Deshic, created room for O'Flaherty, who handballed to no one. Geddes said, I'm no one, I can get that ball. That's a bit cruel. Comes out wide to Roberts White, and Davey snaffles. Roberts White stays down. Just keep an eye on her, thanks, Adrian. Watt Farah halved the marking contest. Handballed to herself in space. Kicked it forward into space. It's going to be offline, but opportunistic play from Watt Farah.
Yeah, in the contest there on the wing base, Roberts White just got a little bit of a minute under Stevie, who was protecting the drop of the ball there, but nothing untoward in it. But she's up again, a bit of a rub with the hand, and she's good to go.
Roberts White, someone who can be very, very proud of her last few months. Watts. Not a kick that she put in her huddle reel. Cleared by Zielinski. Little pitch inside. have a throw in. In fact, that's been called deliberate, insufficient intent shown. The umpires for today's game, maybe not the best time to mention them, but I want to get them in. In the field, Justin Lillicrap and Mitchell Blazak. It's just kept inside as Jamie Bryant just informs Taran Ambashir that she did take it inside the line. Andrew Barnes is on the other side. And then Jimmy Hodgson and Liam Blakely in goals. Zilke with the turnover gets it to Harding, and our umpires proudly supported by Bradman's windows and doors. As Lucy Thompson went through something looking like a window or a door.
Getting the ball moving and getting a little bit of space. I certainly
Well, they weren't able to show the real Kings in the first quarter, and Aspley can take credit for that, but I always come to a game wanting to see both teams show their best.
It's going to. Yeah,
In the contest. Schneider, she's someone who's been showing her best for 2 years now in this competition. Big flying contests. Carmel went down heavily, but looks okay. She'll be straight back up. Geddes takes it outside the 50. Tries to weave in and out of Davey. Not a career move that's recommended by most coaches. Davies on her bike through the guts of Giffen Park. Onto the lead of Barnes. Not able to take it cleanly, but had support. Forward to McDonough. McDonough has a bit of space. Enough time for one bounce. Chips over the attack. Watt Farah got a horrible bounce. May still have time to make it work. Katara Watt Farah is cursing the shape of an Aussie rules ball.
Keep the pressure on, please! But it'd be the same audio in front of one team.
That was able to string 3 possessions together and get a bit of run and flow into the game. Even though it's fairly dominant so far for the game, it's been very contested and quick kicks and repeat entries, but there was a bit more flow in the back quarter.
Not the widest ground this one, it's a big ground,
So
Giffen
channel
Park,
1
but
has Mike 48 volts.
it is very much the traditional oval shape, so not as wide as someone like Fankhauser. But still wide enough for someone like Emma Zilke just to get a good photo opportunity. Feed through
Just changed it.
to Young. Young with a handball. Not sure we saw her in the first quarter, but she's operating in her natural habitat on that far side of the ground in the second.
So Tom 1 has
Zilke pumping it forward. It falls into the arms of Carla,
has 80 hertz.
but at least trying to give the Kings a bit of forward momentum.
I don't know what HPL is.
Movement on the mark, March 50.
Push it in,
Noticeable there when Pickering went forward, they really went quick and Zilke covered the zone somewhat and we thought that the ball bounced correctly, but then the second kick forward, obviously Aspley got in time to drop back behind it.
Carla looking for what Farah found her. And as much as I joke about Katara Watt Farah being better on the 5-degree angle than she is on the straight in front set shot, she's actually pretty good on the straight in front set shot. 16 goals this season. She's about 5th on the list. 17 goals this season. And it's so good to see her back in the Bond University QAFLW.
Closed, skilled environment, sections as well. So that was very neat and
And she's quite public about this, so I think I can mention it. But yeah, married life suiting her well. I think her goals per game rate's actually gone up since she tied the knot. Gaunt with a ruck victory, but only now connected with Roberts Weiss. Looking for Brown. So good to see Macy Brown back in the comp, and so disappointing to see Chesterfield gone for the season. Brown drives forward, was looking for Gaunt, who was held for Govan. Govan with a free kick and a set shot. Began the day on 98 goals. Scored in the first quarter. Leading goal kicker in 2018. Played in a premiership side as far back as 2014.
Yes, that's pretty.
Only 7 women on record have kicked 100 goals in the Bond University QAFLW. Janae Govan has 100 goals in the Bond University QAFLW. This is history. And I don't think Emma Zilke and Sally Young will mind sharing the limelight with someone as accomplished as Janae Govan today. They seem to do that every time Coorparoo score, or possibly the other way around. Coorparoo moving forward again. Tyson, she's had enough of this. She'll move the ball wide, looking for one of her partners in crime in Tallis. Just knocking the ball wide of Muir. And yes, you're right, Adrian. Of course, the most important facet of Janae Govan's goal is in the context of this game and doing her best to give Coorparoo the 4 points. But please forgive me for just putting the historical context front and centre for a little moment there. Coorparoo, who've probably dominated this quarter, we have to say. Danietz with a diving handball on the ground. Just a boundary throwing.
It's a fantastic retrieve by Edmund.
She played about 3 or 4 years as an inside midfielder as well, which obviously slowed down her goal scoring speed. So he is averaging less than a goal a game, but that's not as a forward. Danietz dropped back into halfback. She's played everywhere in the last few weeks. Hung, lovely handball inside to Perry. Perry off for a trundle. Looking straight. McNiven was providing the shepherd for Barnes. None got in the way. And then cleared very well at the back by Feder Hugic. Roberts White in the contest, as is Muir. Tyson wins out, which she does so often. Inside to Perry again. Inside from Danietz. Hits the ground, moved forward by Barnes, 2 Kings behind it. Feder Hugic fumbles, is met by Barnes. Wriggles free, kicks the ball into the back of Desic. Not the plan. Aspley fumble forward. Feder Hugic has a second chance. Finds Muir. And peace is restored between Bosnia and Montenegro. I did my research. Pengelly brought to ground. No, Ala Feder Hugic is Bosnian descent and a Desic of Montenegro descent. I just thank you for not rolling your eyes. Working back from Desic, but then left it. She's got some Perry, who's been busy in the last couple of minutes. Just out of reach of Liesi, but she has space in front of her. She's being tracked. Comes back to Vanderweel. Has to go back to O'Connor, but there's no panic. The tackling pressure is strong from Zilke. Nearly created a turnover for Brown. Back to O'Connor. Coulson's throw, but I think there was a fist in there. Perry, that's taken a weird bounce. It's gone goal side, and they have turned that chaos into another goal. And Emma McNaughton, has a hat-trick.
So channel 1 is now on line and it's on the
a few times as well. That time the referee found a little bit of space at the 50. Like Zilke and the other defence were able to turn the ball to
I flicked it back, so now it's line and manual.
It's often the way when you dominate territory for a while, sometimes it can get congested, and it's not until the opposition comes back at you and creates a bit of space as tunnel ball breaks out. And they're off again, Aspley. Lilu Hung in space. She has a long boost. She has a straight boost. And Lilu Hung has a goal. Aspley's 7th.
So there's no mic. There's no mic.
the game's opened up a little bit.
It's on the handle. Yeah, it's not set to internal.
Well done, Nostradamus, yes.
Oh wait, yeah, it is on internal.
But yeah, certainly
Yeah, it's on internal.
spilling out a little bit. There's been a little bit more freedom in that
So Aspley looking to shore up that second spot. It would take a ridiculous, they'd have to get to about 300 points, I think. Maybe a 300-point win might give them the minor premiership. I think they're just after the 4 points in the double chance. Tyson picked it in for an opponent, regathered. Gall in the way. And then Aspley bringing in for a halt in the middle.
Just let me know when to do it. I'll do it.
I'll say too far out to score these days, but she's got McDonough up forward. She's got McNaughton further forward. McDonough on the lead. Watt Farah goes deeper, looking for McNaughton. Beautifully done by Nunn at the back. Not called mark. She plays on, but clears well. That's a lovely mark from Muir going with the flight of the ball. Always the toughest marks. Goes wide for Gaunt. And as the floodlights are probably the dominant form of light now at Giffen Park.
It's still a very one-on-one game, both in front of the ball and behind the ball. There's no zoning, no plus ones anywhere. It's and as I say that, Alana Perry's making her way behind the ball for Aspley.
You're a very influential man, Adrian. I think she heard you and thought, gee, you're right, we can change that. Zielinski on the ground. Just unable to get it free as Liesi made sure of the stoppage. Aspley with the lead. Coorparoo with the history, specifically in the form of Janae Govan, the 8th player on record. And I have enormous respect for the players that played in what is now called the Bond University QAFLW between 2001 and 2010. But let's not make perfect the enemy of good. With the stats we have, Govan is the 8th player to get to 100 goals. And they're moving it forward to Young. Does a part of me want to see Young and Zilke score tonight? Yes, I'll admit that. Forward to Govan. Just fell underneath her. In fact, that was Harding. Apologies. The ball movement is slick from Coorparoo, just unable to hold on to it and make connections. Perry got a good knock through from O'Connor. She clears out towards McDonough. Being tracked by Teubler. Teubler did very well, used her body position excellently. Finds Zilke. Zilke and Young both taking marks just outside the 50 in the last minute. And then, finds space, just unable to hold on to it, but it was a perfect pass. And Emily Harding will be disappointed with herself because she knows she can take those.
Yeah, the kick was almost too good, wasn't it?
False goal side for Coorparoo's perspective. Zilke puts the tackle on Perry. With a technique she's honed over the past 2 decades. It all started with a come and try day at Morningside in, I believe, early 2008. And now she's someone who turns up late for games because she's signing autographs. Danietz outside the 50. Pressure behind the contest again from Teubler. She's been important in turning the ball over in the last couple of minutes. Charging through with Zilke, just went without it. Kicked inside, falling for Schneider. Outside to Young. Young just needs the distance. Offline.
Good opportunity for Young there. We'd like to see her get one today, no doubt. But I think it's just on the back of, as you mentioned the other day, earlier with Aspley, it's Coorparoo have had a few repeat inside 50s, looking to scrap the goal. And here's another opportunity.
A free kick in the pocket. It's to Meg Muir. I think some excited bench players saying, I'll give it to Sally Young. Yeah, we know it's not in the laws, but just give it to Sally. But no, it'll be Meg Muir with the shot. Doesn't score a huge amount, Meg Muir, just the 1 goal this year. And off to the left No disgrace on that angle. There's 5 minutes left. Probably Coorparoo's quarter, Adrian.
Had the pressure of the home crowd with their eyes on it from right behind there, from that angle there in the pocket. Always adds a little bit of degree of difficulty.
You get some Coorparoo fans filled up with barbecue mafia, and it could be quite deadly, figuratively. The mark is paid to Lilu Hung. She'll come wide to Lanigan as Aspley just try to settle things. But you can see the way that Gaunt charged forward to the mark. In one sense, it's of no consequence. In another sense, it shows intent. Feta Huggett doing the same now. Liesi. Slightly off target. Zielinski attacked well. Perry, tackled by Zielinski, got a lucky bounce and she made the most of it to complete the stoppage. Lanigan off for Pengelly. That'll be a straight swap in defence for the Hornets. .24-point ball game. Aspley very much in control. I think I got a bit carried away when I said Coorparoo's quarter, but certainly Coorparoo's period. Kawa looking to restore dominance for Aspley. Goes through 2 sets of hands. The handball maybe a little bit soft. Gave an opportunity for Blaney. Taking on 4 Hornets at once. Teubler joined in, but it popped out the back to Tyson. Tyson drives from distance. Mitchell all over it. Yeah, Muir kicks it behind, and I forget about Aspley's 4 goals and go, oh, it's Coorparoo's quarter. My name's Daniel Goldfish.
We'll give you some slack there. They have been better in the last 6 to 8 minutes of this quarter. Coorparoo, that is.
Just to further correct myself, 3 goals to 1 to Aspley in this quarter. But Coorparoo again had the first 2 players to that ball when it was tapped down, which is not something we saw a lot of in the first quarter. So both Luke Blacken and Rory Lake, at the risk of being completely wishy-washy, but they'll have things they're happy with, but plenty to improve on. Pengelly bursting through, takes a tumble. And it's a hard ground. It gets dusty at this time of year, but so does Zups Aspley Oval, so they'll be used to that. It's just a fact of life playing footy in Queensland, really. Aspley looking to finish the quarter on a high. Coorparoo looking not to undo the good work that they've done in the last 10 minutes or so. Tyson burst out of traffic but was held. An important tackle from Zilke. Not on the score sheet yet, but she's had plenty of moments. She'll keep it wide and there'll be a 50. Either 50 or downtown. Either way, they're moving forward. And in fact, is that consecutive? In the end, it all comes to naught. But Coorparoo can be very proud of the way they finished that quarter. But Aspley can be very proud of the fact that they are in a dominant position. 7-4-46 lead Coorparoo 2-2-14. This is the final home and away round of the 2024 Bond University QAFLW. Thank you for joining us on the official AFLQ YouTube channel. Oh, yeah, no, it's too loud. It's Hey, how are you going?
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyse anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The Kitchen Lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
The effect might be a little not taking on another geography, just trying to work out why I thought this was street maybe I would use it. Oh, I see. Still down. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. I'll start with just a score check and goal scorers. Oh.
That'll be Daniel response now.
Yeah. So that'll just be because all of these.
Oh, they are. Okay, well, in that case, turn that up slightly. Sorry for making you go too far. That's enough. Can you hear me? Only a little bit. Oh, because we're not on. Sorry. Get back down. It's so weak. Sorry.
Let me know. I'll go live.
That's okay.
Half-time in our final featured match of the Bond University QAFLW home and away season for 2024. The Aspley Hornets away from home leading the Coorparoo Kings by 32 points, 7-4-46 leading Coorparoo 2-2-14. The goal scorers for Aspley, 3 goals to Emma McNaughton and 1 each to Izzy McDonough, Katara Wapfara, Lily Hung and Maddie Tallis. For Coorparoo, 2 goals to Janae Govan, the second of which was her 100th in this competition. My name is Daniel Viles. With me is the Bond University QAFLW competition manager, Adrian Richardson. Adrian, your thoughts on the first half, and feel free to expand that and how that affects the competition more broadly.
Yeah, no worries, Daniel. Yeah, the first half it was, Aspley certainly better at the contested ball and winning the meterage game, and obviously had a number of more opportunities and kicked straight at that end. But Coorparoo certainly had some good passages of play when the ball was out in clear air and a bit of run, and they were able to capitalise on the scoreboard as well. Now, more broadly, Bond University has been able to get over University of Queensland in their final match, so Coorparoo are safe. They are into the finals next week, but I'm sure they won't be resting on those laurels. they need to pick their game up because they'll have a tough game against Bonyuni next week.
There's a very faint shadow of Maroochydore chasing them. It's unlikely, but I believe in mathematics, so I will not call it until it's actually happened. Zilke ahead of Lanigan. Lanigan tracking her well, wins that little one-on-one. Back to Vanderweel. Touched in flight. Perry with the fumbles. Geddes put a lot of pressure on, and in the end, Perry accidentally on purpose decided for the boundary. Floodlights in full effect. Still not that cold. There's a tiny breeze, but it's not going to affect any flight of the ball or anything on the field. The punch from Gaunt, well roved by Davey. Vanderweel goes centrally to a contest. Ran away from Bryant and Schneider. Tyson. Tyson's been superb tonight. Goes up towards centre half forward. Front position. Mark. Was it taken? It was taken. Emma McNaughton is making people less nostalgic for Jess Stallard by the day.
It was a strong mark, that one there. Ball came in. It probably wasn't purely to her advantage, but she was able to hold her position. And
with the set shot, she has a fourth for the night. Can she get her first fiver? Let's not get greedy. Let's enjoy the fact that she's got 4. And for the second time at that end of the field, Aspley have scored in the first minute and a half.
Yes, and it was some of the same story, that one. It was the contested ball out on the wing at the boundary throw-in. A few close handballs whipped around by the Aspley midfielders. Louise Tyson getting onto a loose ball and showing her wheels, and was able to get that ball into the full forward, who, as I said, held her ground very well and took the strong grab.
McNaughton making a few people wonder, gee, how could you leave her in reserve grade so long? Good problem for Luke Blacken to have. Strong ball control from Aspley. Vanderweel inside 50. Just went over the head of Barnes, who then copped an accidental knock to the back of the head. Watt Farah centralises the ball. Comes off the contest of Nunn and McNaughton out of bounds. Handy position for Aspley. I think, to me, Louise Tyson's probably broke the game more open more often than other midfielders. Not sure how you see it, Adrian.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Daniel. She certainly is running through the contest at the stoppage. And if the ball does get in front of her, she's pretty hard to chase down from behind.
The boundary throw in at the Stanley Street right pocket. Hung went onto it. The kick was slightly off target. McDonough running through traffic. Made Davey reach for it. And there's just enough Coorparoo bodies blocking it. Back to Watt Farah. Good tracking back from Ott. Ott has her hands on the ball. Tries to get it wide. Pickpocketed by Tyson. Again, hands from Blaney, who's made some important interventions at different times tonight. Out of zone umpire spots an infringement in favour of Aspley. Louise Tyson. Not sure if she changed her mind or convinced me she changed her mind, but it's a straight shot. Barnes looking for it. Watts providing a +1 in defence. Tried to sock her off the ground. Back towards McDonough. Looking for space. Snapping off her preferred left. Has it gone through it now? I think that was kicked before the line, but then cannoned into a shoulder. Desperate defence from Coorparoo for about 2 minutes straight. And if it's possible to deserve only to concede a behind, which is an awkward phrase, but I'm going to credit Coorparoo with it. Out towards Watts.
Yeah, Coorparoo just need to hold strong through this patch. Aspley have obviously come out and throwing a lot at the contest and playing in their forward half. Good time for Coorparoo to stand up right now.
And it was Governor, apologies. Yeah, good point. Carver just got a hand at the back of the contest. Came through to Roberts White, fumbled. Tyson fumbled. It can happen. Out the back over the head of Janietz. Has Vanderweel. Pengelly ahead but goes deeper. Kicks to space where Hung is. Just go over the out of bounds. But yeah, I mean, you say that Coorparoo need to stay strong, but I'm just not sure whether a club that's been built by the culture of Sally Young and Emma Zilke has it in them to stay strong. What would you say to that, Adrian?
To stay strong?
Yeah. It's I'm being an idiot. That was where you were supposed to slam me. I apologise. It was funny in my head.
No, that's all right. I'm sure I'll get it in a few minutes' time, and I'll have a reply for you.
Thankfully, the last passage of play achieved nothing in terms of territory. And I have time to pop downstairs, grab my reputation and bring it back. The boundary throw in, just Aspley's forward side of halfway. Going for the punch option rather than the tap option. I'm not sure if that's deliberate or whether it's just all she can do under the pressure of Kawa. Zilke nearly took a mark under pressure. Fell to Pengelly. Danietz thought about going back. In the end had to go forward and maybe wasn't settled when she kicked it away to Schneider. Govan tracking a long way back. Deegan's pushed forward. Not quite that far forward as Harding, but she has Deegan ahead of her. Harding slows down to get into space. Was maybe caught in two minds. And Davey had a very easy snack. Back to Pittman, who was just always in position for that relieving kick. Teubler from the back. As the Cleveland line can be heard in the background. Gaunt is looking to go deeper than that, and picked off well by Kawa, who has been excellent tonight as an inside midfielder, as a relieving defender, and as a ruck. Kicked away. Commentators curse strikes. Kawa kicks to Emily Harding. Lower kick on the lead. Went through to Roberts White. Got a deflection. Pittman in front position. Just got there ahead of Brown. Gaunt tried to snap. The ball drop wasn't there. Thompson. Back to Kawa. Clever handball through to Pengelly. Trying to handball their way out, and the connections just weren't quite there. Bryant struggling against Schneider. The cavalry comes in the form of Pengelly. Out towards Tyson. And it's Tyson who bursts away. She's not been the difference tonight. Aspley as a team has been better than Coorparoo so far, but Tyson's been superb. Feta Hugic regains possession, just back of right wing. Thumps it up to right half forward. Retained through Roberts White. Kicks to the contest. Over the back was looking for Govan. Govan gets the tackle with Deegan in support. Deegan appealing for a free kick, not forthcoming.
Playing in their forward half the last minute or two. Aspley do look strong when they've got control of the ball running out, but Coorparoo's standing up and pumping it back in.
Yessie doing her best to reverse it. Took a weird bounce, and Blaney in position. Teubler providing support. Air swing under pressure, and that is a free kick, Troy Flaherty. Flaherty on her bike, not the sweetest kick, a little bit heavy on the foot, but the rebound, I thought it was going to suit Aspley, but it suited Watts of Coorparoo. She'll get it back, it's messy ball. Inside to Zielinski. She takes a tumble. Play a bit dirty. Until eventually, I believe it was Tyson who got involved, got it out of there. A little bit less congested. And now back into the congestion. Over the back of the contest was Hung. Got caught in between two kings. And a lovely intercept mark taken by Tyson under pressure. Aspley moving it forward without any great conventional fluency, but they're prepared to be patient. Back the other way into the centre of the field. Pengelly had front position and maybe got a light in her eyes. Govan, check side kick through to Zilke. Has Brown forward. There are three forwards streaming for Coorparoo. Zilke aims for the farthest one in the form of Gaunt. Went to play on. Got around Danietz. Looking to the goal square. Fell short. Brown sniping. This may fall well for them. Inside. She's done it! Oh, you have to believe in magic, don't you?
Great to see Zilke on the end of that one, Daniel. She was almost going to only have it marked down as an assist earlier in the play. She created a bit of a space at the forward 50 and got the ball in there to Gaunt, I believe it was. Yep. and then wound up on the end of a little bit of a scratchy ball play at the top of the square. So great to see her finish that one off as well. And I think she was a little happy with it as well. I saw the little fist pump out there.
Competitive beast till she dies. And not suggesting that's anytime soon. For what it's worth, goal number 191 on record, but there's about 3 seasons or 2 seasons that are not on record. And in the context of the match, doesn't quite bring Coorparoo back into the game. But just,
Holding on.
Just playing charades with Adrian. I think, the gripping onto the cliffside is probably a good metaphor. So Zilke on the board in their farewell game. It's really just Sally Young now who has to come to the party. We've got Govin's 100. Aspley don't need sentiment. They want the 4 points, and if they get those, they can let Coorparoo have all the celebrations they like. Coorparoo clearing. Harding putting in the big ones. Maybe a bit more energy. Geddes will be first to it. It ran away from Harding. Tallis puts pressure on and eventually came through to Harding. Combining well with Geddes. And cut off well by Pittman. Inside to Vanderweel. Vanderweel needs options. Was looking for McDonough. McDonough versus Toibler has been a wonderful one-on-one tonight. Cleared by Federhugic. Towards Zilke. Just fell a bit shorter than she anticipated. If Emma Zilke misjudges the flight of the ball, I'm inclined to blame the ball. Davey out to Vanderweel. Slaps it forward towards Hung. The battle of the orange boots just came off. They're calling deliberate, but no, Federhugic's boot just slammed into that ball. Well called by the umpires.
Yeah, the script is still the same, Daniel. The same setups, both in front of the ball and behind the ball. I think both teams are just still backing their players in around it and hoping that they can capitalise.
Theory on that in a moment. Yes, I have theories. Underneath Zilke, McNiven tracked her well. O'Connor. McNiven took everyone on, coughed it up to Zielinski. Zielinski forward. Thompson putting in the big ones. Thompson read that beautifully. Big energy. From the former Queensland under-18 fullback about a decade ago. Through to Perry. Perry assessing options. Yes, with the top two side like Aspley is that. Now, will the push be called? No, just a boundary throwing. But yes, Aspley may have other tricks that they are prepared to unleash, but 33 points up, they're keeping it in the back pocket and not going to show their hand before finals. As Gall and Vanderweel just get to know each other in front of the contest. Pengelly in the ruck. Got the tap, but not the clearance. Schneider into the middle of the field. Tallis on the half volley. Well read by Pittman. And was able to offload in the tackle from Harding. Harding's been superb tonight. One of her best games. Zilke again. Was looking to go over the contest. Just scooped it a little bit. So bounces away from Lanigan. Off the shin of Harding. In towards Vanderweel, who tracked back very well from where she was high on the right wing. Over the head of Muir. Bounces away from Hung. Charge down with the backside, I think, of McDonough. Hung with the tackle, brings down Federhugic. Now if Federhugic is hurt, then she's properly hurt because she is tough as nails. In fact, okay.
I think she in the tackle and in the back had Hung's weight fall on top of her, had the ball underneath, so might have been just a little winded there.
No, if Federhugic hits the ground that hard, we probably need to check on the welfare of the ground. Gall told to play on. Zielinski ahead of Pengelly. Pengelly kept on her feet, followed the play through well. But just in the last couple of minutes, I'd say a very even, contested game. Pengelly inside to Liesi. Ran towards Deegan, still got the handball away, bounced away from Vanderweel, cleared by Muir. Got it up towards the run of Harding. Pittman sweeping. And Coorparoo just pushing forward. They're relentless. Zilke coughed it up and Perry will bring it back the other way. But they were willing it forward for about 40 metres there, Coorparoo. Federhugic will look to start it all again. Schneider comes out wide to Muir. Hooks it in field. Was looking for the run of Deegan. Tyson again. Releases Barnes. Got a bad bounce. Use the body well. Federhugic will sweep. And from a contested section, we've got a very, very fast-paced section of play. Maybe not the best kick. Vanderweel cut it off. Roberts White's pressure allowed Zielinski to get the ball. Allowed to play on as the tackle in which Zilke turned 360, but wasn't really flung to the ground. It was released early. No complaints from anyone. Carver inside, eventually found Davey. Took on too much. Macy Brown was superb. In fact, it was Georgina Oss. Apologies.
Federhugic has been massive this quarter behind the ball. For the whole game, in fact, for Coorparoo. Without her, the scoreboard probably wouldn't look as within reach as it is.
Completely agree, Adrian. Leans forward to Harding. Harding's a fair way out. It's left at the moment, but there's a bit of movement on it. Good position at the back from McNiven. Doesn't look like she's done enough on her own. Needs teammates get them. It's Tallis who clears very wide. Young was in position, couldn't get there ahead of Vanderweel. And play moved on very quickly, but yet again, Tyson produced yet another steaming moment. Over the back of Hung, Davey kept their head over the ball and then had it knocked sideways. Called holding.
You don't see 25-metre handballs all that much in football in general, but Tyson breaking through earlier and releasing, who was it again? Releasing Barnes, I think it was, as it was called, was, it looked like it was going to create something.
The mark by Harding had pressure on it from O'Connor. Aspley turned over again. It's been messy but very entertaining this last 10 minutes. Beautiful from Barnes coming through from the back. Federhugic, I think, was about 5 metres forward of the mark, but all's well that ends well. Looking for McNaughton. And good work from Sammy Nunn.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. It was a double grabber, so the second controlling the ball was closer to where Federhugic got in there. Maybe only 2 metres, not 5.
I yield the floor, my learned friend. Thank you. I'm scared of Arla anyway, and she knows it. Carla O'Connor. Bit of a moon ball. Davey hasn't been allowed the space tonight. She has the last 3 weeks. So Coorparoo did their homework. McDonough with a check side kick. In towards the goal square. Spectacular tumble from Federhugic. None working hard at the back. And I love that Federhugic took a tumble, made sure she was all right, then immediately checked on the welfare of the person she tripped over. To me, that's Arla Federhugic in a nutshell. Just tough with a bit of heart.
And I noticed she's out there without the mask today as well that she'd been using the last week or two.
Yeah, that was... I never actually asked her what the reason for it was, but if she doesn't need it anymore, that's good.
I believe it was a broken nose, I believe. That's what I heard.
Yeah, the reputation just grows, doesn't it? Good mark in the pocket from Tyson. Not called a mark. Boundary umpire says it was over the... No, it has been called a mark. Apologies for misreading the signal. Louise Tyson, who is so selfless she probably won't have a shot here, and yet she's probably skillful enough to try it. No, she will have the snap. Banana. She was probably only about a metre too low, but apart from that, skill on show.
Either Federhugic got a finger on that, or the Aspley attempted mark bounced off. So it was very close to going through from there. So what a great shot of goal.
50-metre penalty. Bit of movement on the mark. It's Govan just making sure she's still got clear space. Alana Perry doing the right thing by constantly asking where she needs to be. Driven inside 50. Not the most accurate kick, picked off by Kawa. A low-scoring quarter, but the GPS monitors would be going off the chart, I would say. Drew Barnes into Vanderweel. Switch to the left. She mostly plays on the right. Takes a long run. Inside 50. Hits the chest of McNaughton.
I think the last minute or two we've seen the fatigue set in a little bit, and there has been a few gaps open up across the ground for both teams, both directions.
McNaughton with a shot after the siren. I'll let you finish your point in a moment, Adrian. McNaughton going for her first haul of 5 in first grade. It doesn't happen that often. And in her 5th game in the Bond University QAFLW, Emma McNaughton has kicked 5 goals. Adrian, please finish your point at the end of 3/4 time.
All I was going to say is it'll make good for a final quarter with that fatigue setting in probably a little bit earlier, and we'll be end-to-end football to finish off the game.
If only we had the technology and resources to have the interchange cap, and we could open it up even further. But we'll cross that bridge another day. But it's Aspley by 40 points at 3/4 time. Coorparoo can be very proud of their efforts in the third quarter rather, even though they have lost it 2-1. Thank you for enjoying round 14 of the Bond University QAFLW with us on the official AFLQ YouTube channel. Aspley by 40 points with 1 quarter to go. Here at Giffen Park between Coorparoo and Aspley, Emma McNaughton has 5 goals. My name's Daniel Vales. With me is Adrian Richardson. Adrian, thoughts on the match so far, particularly that third quarter, but also we're coming closer to wrapping up this season, but also maybe seeing some festivities here at Giffen.
Yeah, so, you know, the match in terms of style and the way it's been played didn't change in the third quarter. Aspley got, was strong early, but Coorparoo fought back and they had plenty of opportunities in that middle and latter part, and then obviously Aspley get one at the end. And we've just been discussing off air, Daniel, that I may have gone early with the call about Coorparoo consolidating at Wilston Grange, putting up a performance at Maroochydore, so we just never know. I suppose the fat lady hasn't sung yet, so it's still open, but I'm sure Coorparoo will be keen to finish off this quarter strong.
Yes, they're 40 points behind at the moment. They won't want it to get worse, and they only lost that quarter 1-2, and remember the final goal was after the siren. But again, hot contested footy. And if you're making a highlights package of this match, you would either be putting all of that in or cutting all of it out, depending on your tastes. But there's been a lot of shutting down of space by some of the best practitioners in this competition at doing so. Tyson breaking free, back to Pengelly. Beautiful step from Pengelly, a show and go. Forward to Wap Farah on the lead. And just as we talk about the contested nature of the game, we get some old-fashioned kick-mark footy.
And look, Tyson again instrumental with finding the handball to Pengelly, who navigated her way through the course of opposition sort of players then, and a kick to advantage.
Katara Wap Farah from distance. Goal umpire had to think a little bit, but he was happy. Aspley, 10 goals for the night. And this will be their 4th consecutive win over the Kings.
Wap Farah proving there that everything we talked about earlier about the neat technique and running straight through at the goal could be replicated about 40 metres out. The earlier one was 30, 25 metres out. She's kicked that one from 40, so a great goal to start that quarter.
And that's 3 of the 4 quarters in which Aspley's kicked the goal in the first 2 minutes. Aspley having to retreat. Carla putting speed on. Just got away from Govan, who's moved into the middle. Holding the ball, free kick to the Kings. And for a moment I thought there was a bit of concern for Pengelly on the ground. There is not. Advanced 50 to Emma Zilke. I think something may have been said. Jasmine Carl was confused, but I don't think it was her. Either way, Emma Zilke is now within scoring range. I can't think of anything extra significant about the number 192, but on record, that would be her goal number if she slots this. But what hasn't she achieved already? And in terms of her career, doesn't matter. In terms of this match, she will be filthy. And I'm looking forward to seeing her the rest of her coaching career, which has only just begun, in charge of Lions Academy, Queensland Under-18s. You have to think that she's more likely than not to have an AFLW coaching gig in her future. And don't want to rush it. I'm just saying it's there somewhere if she wants it. But again, that's something to look forward to, not a millstone to hang around her. Bryant, Liesi drills it forward, looking for Barnes, just fell short of her. Blaney tracking well. Blaney's had a busy night. She's been a good physical presence at the back, Emily Blaney in the 53 for the Kings. So for what it's worth, last we looked, Wilston Grange was leading Maroochydore by 38 points. It's a 45-point margin here. You put those two together and you're up in the 80-plus point bracket. I can add, I was just concentrating. Out towards Lanigan, which is big, but it's not 140, so Coorparoo still have a final spot. Hung left it behind. Federhagic clears. Liesi swept. Onto it straight away because she saw what Farah in the lead. Not able to bring it down. And then well worked in the drop zone by, I think it was Ott getting back. Federhagic there now. Comes wide to Muir and Coorparoo clear. And really, since that first quarter when they were probably just stunned a bit by Aspley's pace, their organisation at the back has been better more often. Is Muir hobbling off the field? Keep an eye on Meg Muir. Desic, who started this game very well, kicks it into traffic. Perry fumbled but kept finding more space the more she fumbled. Over the top to Tyson. Well shut down by Zilke.
Yeah, Muir not happy with something in her back of her ankle, Achilles area.
Which is okay. Oh, sorry.
I was looking forward to your mathematics finishing, Daniel, but we can put that away again until this piece of play, I suppose.
38 plus 45 is 83.
Just some...
But no, it would need to be much bigger combined margin than that. And that was towards the end of the third quarter as well. That game's being played more or less simultaneously with this one. But don't watch it now, watch this one. You can watch that one during the week. Or afterwards. The Olympics don't get good for another few days. You can stick with the QAFLW. Vanderweel. Now towards O'Flaherty. Usually on the left, now on the right. An inverted wing roll. Good front position and brought down by Easy. No one calls for that. I just thought I'd try it. Gaunt. Beautiful mark on the run. Kicks into space, and probably that was the wrong time to do it. Needed to wait for a bit more cavalry to come. Thompson was able to clean up a little bit easily. And now Coorparoo needs to be wary of the slingshot through Vanderweel. Taking it right half back. Mitchell on for Blaney. Straight swap in defence. McNaughton back onto the field. Maybe 5's not enough. The only player to kick 6 in a game this year is Dakota Barron. McNaughton still has a quarter left. Federhagic says, no, I'm going to send it the other way. Dropped by Thompson. Then through to Kawa. Bit of fatigue setting in by the look of it, which Adrian picked up on late in the third. And Watts puts it on a platter for Deegan inside to Zilke. She read the script before the game.
Take 2 here for Zilke. She'll have learnt from the last one, I'm sure, and I think we can assume this one's going to be a little straighter. I think.
Got a request after this set shot from Emma Zilke. Overcorrects, goes to the left. Surely you average those out and just call it a goal, don't you? No, not how it works.
You called it the commentator's curse earlier, didn't you? I think, there it was again, I think.
Advanced to level 2, Adrian. That's how you know you're a real commentator, when you stuff up someone's set shot. And you did it to a legend, so that's extra points. Yeah. You know, when you start organising, celebrity charity masters games and Emma Zilke's playing, just please make sure I'm commentating with you. Because I am going to miss seeing her skills on the field. And Sally Young, who we haven't seen as much of tonight, but her game IQ at her peak, her ability to just materialise in space, and then just one of the surest kicks in the competition, indeed in the history of this competition, for finding a target, just being able to hit someone on the chest in space. As McDonough releases O'Flaherty, who streets Federhagic on the wing. Inside 50, looking for Watt Farah. Over the back, falls to the drop zone. Watt Farah used her body well. Teubler had it knocked out of her possession. O'Flaherty following through. Gets goal side. McDonough is waiting, McNaughton, apologies, was waiting for crumbs up front. And now she heads to the goal square as O'Flaherty has the free kick. McDonough is halfway. Currently moving away from goal, but I suspect she's about to dart back into the line of flight very shortly. O'Flaherty from about 45. Heads straight towards goal. Not quite knocked through. Federhagic does well. Back towards O'Flaherty. The marking contest just lost by Coorparoo, who had front position. They have numbers around this contest. Can't make it count. Tyson. Eventually we'll see it out of bounds.
Great individual piece of play by O'Flaherty. gaining the ball on the wing and streaking past Fetahugic, and then earned the free kick at the inside the forward 50, putting her head down over the ball, and just an accidental sort of nudge from a Coorparoo player over the ball, but great individual performance.
Too old now, but she did get a Rising Star nomination 2 years ago, Holly O'Flaherty, and has improved, as you would expect as she's matured. Aspley widened through Pengelly, who's come rather high, moving it up to the right pocket, lands in space. The volleyball clearance doesn't work. Barnes with a tackle. And Aspley locking it in these middle stages of the final quarter of the regular season. Gaunt working hard in the ruck. Perry on the outside. Nunn's clearance was charged down by McDonough. Has a second opportunity. Goes completely sideways. Bryant's the only one within QE. Jamie Bryant. She has all the skills.
Still a few goals left in this game, Daniel. Even just looking behind play and in front of play, the close checking, not as close as what it was earlier in the game. There's a little bit of separation between players. So just talking about that fatigue we were alluding to earlier.
There can be fatigue of the mind as well, as Aspley conceded another 50, and the umpires have been appropriately strict this game. With Schneider, who benefited, the Coorparoo haven't been able to turn that into a chain of possession. As Aspley were looking, there was a throw in the tackle, no, holding the ball. So Coorparoo with the chance to advance further. Zielinski moves into the forward line. Muir is already there, I'm pleased to say, so whatever was out of position has been popped back in. You can tell my lack of medical knowledge. Towards Gaunt. Two greats of the game leaving this field tonight, but in Chloe Gaunt, well, who knows what her future holds. Beautifully picked out. Should we just be quiet, Adrian?
Not saying a word.
Emma Zilke will now have a set shot. Silence.
Surely, Daniel.
Goes for the shorter option, goes into the pocket because she read the page of the script that we hadn't. Sally Young. If she can nail this will be the closest we come to everyone going home happy. Of course, Coorparoo wanted to win, but if Aspley get the win and we get Zilke and Young on the scoreboard plus Govern's 100th. Anyway, it's all about Sally Young right now. Looks to have the distance. It might be a summer project for me and possibly people like Ben Grimes to go through the footage and see if we can make some lifetime highlights videos of those two, plus a few others if we get in a roll. As Pittman brings it out near side. Tallis was in the middle of the pack, knocked forward by Fetahugic by hand. Perry on the ground. Perry's been very strong tonight. She's done probably more grunt work than anyone else on the ground in terms of fighting for the ball in amongst the pack. Alana Perry has probably won that particular category.
Yeah, I wouldn't say an anti-climax, but it would have been nice to see Sally put that one through. I noticed a large portion of the crowd over that far side of the ground had come down the hill and were against the fence ready to congratulate her too, but hopefully she gets another chance.
Maybe the moment wasn't dramatic enough for her and she actually wants the after the siren. So
yeah, 7 minutes out, too far from the end. Need to happen closer.
So much has been said this week. We'll stick with the play, but I do want to get a couple of elegies in for these two retiring greats. As Coorparoo did well. Teubler again, who's been mighty tonight. Not sure what Muir thought was going on there, but Tallis up the wing. Hung. Tallis with the 1-2. Tallis bursting away. Has Watt Farah up front. Went back towards Mitchell. Mitchell positioned herself well. Tracked Watt Farah for a little while. Watt Farah continued. Got away from Nunn. Kicked it into space. Desic did very well to get back and then kick the ball wide, which if you've got no other options, always the best option. Nunn inside to Gall, and then wrapped up well by Bryant. You know, much has been made of to sort of make the two extreme versions of themselves. Emma Zilke's competitive nature on the field and Sally Young's caring nature off the field. Now, Sally is also a competitive beast and Emma also cares, but Sally is now a player welfare officer at the Brisbane Lions. Emma is a gun-ho coach. That's almost typecasting. Aspley back inside 50. It was touched in flight. Players following through, but without space. Socket into space. Federhugic after it, as is Muir, who'll be one of the quickest players in the competition still. Tallis, who's not exactly slow, was tracking them well. 2-on-2 contest without a winner. O'Flaherty again round the wing. Goes for glory from a tight angle. And Mitchell, for someone who's technically inexperienced, 19 years old, third year of footy perhaps, that was a very experienced piece of defending.
Yeah, absolutely. Competing well at those aerial contests, deep in the forward line, doing a great job down there.
She had a good game here against Bond a few weeks ago. And if you can play well against the Bond side, you've got a bit of potential. Just slipping tackles. Tyson again, inside to Liesi. Looking for Hung. Just a little bit deep, and in the end, Muir and Nunn gave each other enough space. Nunn did very well to get a handball away, as did Blaney. Desic tries to clear the area, finds Muir. Doesn't have a lot up this right-hand side to kick to. Roberts, White and Zilke providing options, as is Harding. Darts inside, goes a little bit straighter. Lanigan will get this, but there's a downtown free kick because Muir was cleaned up after she kicked it. Macy Brown will take the honours. Brown told to play on, as Lanigan does a Leaning Tower of Pisa impersonation. Carver attacked it. I'm very impressed with Carver tonight in 3 different roles, as I said earlier. Davey, quiet turn night, but she's been so electric the last month. But if this is a quiet night, she'll take it. Beautiful barrel kick. Not sure it was intentional, but let's call it. Bryant inside 50. Watt Farah has a lot of space. The kick won't find her on the first bounce. Didn't see Barnes in the way. Just went past Watt Farah. Not able to regather, and Sammy Nunn has had yet another almighty night in defence.
And in football, but not capitalising on the scoreboard either team this final quarter, but certainly enjoyable to watch.
Kick forward by Barnes, Watt Farah, Mitchell. Again, showing professionalism beyond her literal experience. Sometimes I think defenders almost have a how many behinds can I rush professionally a competition amongst themselves. Over the back of Zilke, who thought she was creating space for a teammate, turned around and it was an ex-teammate. Pittman in towards Hong, perfectly weighted pass. And Emma Pittman has always been a good player, but this year, particularly in the last few weeks, her already insane positional sense has just been on show more often. It was brilliant against Wilson Grange last week. And she probably turns up half an hour early for dentist appointments. Lilu Hung, fairway out. Decent piece of it. Is it over to the right? Indeed.
Yeah, that mop-up defender role, obviously very important in today's game of football, and Emma Pittman certainly, as you said there, just very neat and tidy and not making too many errors at all behind the ball, and normally finds someone going forward as well, showing all of her experience.
Actually, just to add some numbers to what you said, and I'm about to go stats crazy once this round's finished. Over the back, Kawa. Comes all the way back to Pittman again. Handballs through to Kawa. Couldn't quite get the handball back inside. None attacking hard. All the way through to Young, and then pilfered by Tyson. One of those long handballs back to Lanigan, and back again to Pittman. Of all the players in the comp with 100 disposals or more, Emma Pittman has the highest efficiency rating. It's something like 83. That was before tonight's game, obviously, but I think you'd agree it wouldn't have gone down by much, if anything, tonight. Taken by Ott. Got it away to Brown. Back towards Muir. The script says a Sally Young set shot after the siren. Zilke, play down the middle of the field. Macy Brown's okay. Govan stops, props. Thank you, Bruce. Roberts Wise lost it in the lights, I think, and it was Pittman who took it easily.
On cue again for Emma.
I was about to say her ears are burning, but she plays the same when I'm commentating at another ground. It's got nothing to do with me. I tell people it does, but it doesn't. Back towards Pittman. tempo football. This is game management, practicing for if they need to do this in a finals match. That's probably what they can do anytime. Tyson. Coorparoo trying to match up, looking for a quick break. Good contested mark from Davey. It looked from this angle like Deegan had it covered. Did not. Lanigan. Just 40 seconds remaining. Bryant finds O'Flaherty. And for all my talk about the romantic script, as O'Flaherty puts it forward, over the back, well taken by Drew Barnes. We're not going to get the fairy tale, but Aspley are a team to be reckoned with. And the final series, we have a week off next week. We'll just watch Drew Barnes. Don't tell me. Tell your friends that was a barrel from 60 metres. Drew Barnes finishes the match with an unlikely goal. It's Aspley's 11th for the night. They finish 11-9-75 to Coorparoo's 3-5-23. As far as we know, unless something very dramatic has happened up at Maroochydore, the finals in 2 weeks' time will be a qualifying final at Fankhauser Reserve between Southport and Aspley. Winners of the grand final, losers to the preliminary final. The elimination final will be at Bond University Oval between Bond University and Coorparoo, unless Maroochydore are currently leading about 200-0. Sorry, Wilston Grange are leading about 200-0. It's 52-0. Congratulations to Wilston Grange on their season, but it looks like Coorparoo have secured a 4th place and will go into the elimination final. We're going to stay with the coverage for a minute because we want to see how the teams celebrate the careers of Emma Zilke and Sally Young. Adrian Richardson, some thoughts from you on that match, which was, even when it was low scoring, very entertaining in parts.
Yeah, well, it's obviously a nighttime match here, Daniel, and fortunately I can go home to the kids tonight and tell them that I saw a UFO with that last kick of the night. You called it a barrel. I'm not sure it was, but it did sneak through. Fantastic for to get that in goal.
Drew Barnes, yes.
And look, whilst Coorparoo were gallant, and look, Rory Lake and the coaching team have some things to work on, no doubt. They'll be going up against the strength of a young running Bond next week, but certainly, they'll fine tune a few things, I'm sure. Their defence built on Fetahajic at the back, was very strong again today, as she has been all year. No doubt, things to work on, but look, there'll be some renewed vigour after a week off, and I'm sure they'll be saddling up and ready to go in 2 weeks' time.
Players gathering in the middle of the field. We haven't been told of anything specific that's going to happen, but it would be unlike women's football in Queensland, and specifically the Bond University QAFLW, not to make sure that their own greats are honoured, which is probably something women's football could do a lot more of. I think it's something where they're learning to celebrate their own history, and it's always good when a nerd like me comes along and provides it with numbers, but even so, it's something they need to do themselves and are getting better at doing. Emma McNaughton, 5 goals tonight.
Yeah, and while they're getting ready for the... hopefully it'll be a cheering off. Certainly Aspley players today and the way they performed today, very solid, very mechanical type performance. They won the ball inside. They were sharp with their hands. The contested ball was very good. They played a meterage game, got it forward. Emma McNaughton, 5 goals at the end there, so obviously they're the best players. Louise Tyson, fantastic around the ball. Plenty of zip, even back against the runner play, as you run backward 5 metres, give the handball back. Kawa in the ruck was fantastic with the absence of Anstey in there as well. Stellar to come back into that team, I'm sure, in a couple of weeks' time when they face the might of Southport down on the coast. So, look, Aspley plenty to look forward to, and very strong performance tonight as well.
And just to balance that with some top Coorparoo performance, for me, I'm a little bit sick of saying Isla Fetahagic best on ground for Coorparoo, but in many ways I'm not sick of saying it because she's a joy to watch, and her ability to organise a line at the back for Coorparoo is just legendary. But the other defenders, Sammy Nunn, Alana Mitchell, Emily Blaney back there, Mia Teubler, they're all magnificent. Probably going forward, Meg Mule was the one who impressed me the most. We're just keeping our eyes on the Coorparoo clubhouse It's an important ground in the history of Queensland football. They were the Coorparoo Roos for many years, collapsed in the 90s, were reborn as the Kings in the 2000s. The women's program began here in 2013 by Sally Young and Emma Zelke. The X factor of Coorparoo has always been their Y and Z. It looks like there may just be a tier or two. It's not their last game. We should emphasise that there is another game, but it won't be here. They will have an elimination final in 2 weeks' time at Bond University. They mean so much. They're certainly not lost to football. And they are being honoured appropriately. To the extent that I have any right to speak on behalf of the Queensland Women's Aussie Rules community, we love you, Sally. We love you, Emma. We'll let them continue their celebrations. Please check out, in fact, follow all 8 teams in this competition on social media, Instagram and Facebook, the main ones. A couple of them still use Twitter. I refuse to call it that other name. But from now, we'll leave it here. Adrian, thank you so much for your input tonight, and all the best as you move into silly season with organising 2 competitions that we love, but they don't just happen, and we thank you for your work.
No, thanks a lot, Daniel, and obviously you do a mountain of work behind the microphone each and every week, so thanks for that, and I'm sure you'll be excited about what's about to happen in a few weeks' time as well.
You will not be able to keep me away. My name is Daniel Viles. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to Double Take for their filming of tonight's game. Next week, go to the Women's AFLW, the Women's.AFL website on Saturday. Queensland versus Western Australia in Perth in the Girls Under-18 National Championships. But then the week after that, the finals of the Bond University QAFLW. Don't forget the men's QAFL as well. Some very interesting things happening in that competition, including today. Stay on this YouTube channel. Catch up on all the games. Plenty of footy coming. We have a final series to absolutely enjoy over the next month. But from Giffen Park for now, it's goodbye.